Okay, I'm going to show you how to customize the edit window in Pro Tools. So to jump to the edit window, I'm going to go Command equals again. This will take us to the edit window. Now, if I want to view elements from the mix window, I can show them here. So you'll notice a similar menu up here. We'll click on that. So I can show elements from the mix window in here. So you might want to do that if you couldn't be bothered changing between windows and you're just running one screen. So you might show inserts, sends, and your track color. That's probably it really. Your inputs and outputs here. I don't really like to do that because it takes up a bit of space, so I'm going to get rid of them. A quick and easy way to do that is to go Option or Alt, and I can click on those elements. There we go. Okay, something else you'll notice from the mix window as well is we've got the tracks and groups column. The same thing here. So I can show and hide that the same way I did in the mix window. Now, an additional thing we have over to the right here is the clips column. We can show that with this little arrow. So this basically shows us our audio files here, our regions or clips. So if I select a clip, that's the audio file associated with that. Right, now some other things I can customize in this window. Let's just have a look at one of these tracks here. Now, if I put my cursor on the edge here, I can click and drag and make this a bit bigger. Now, I can do it that way, or I could go up here to this little menu here and I can pick a preset size. So I might go large there. Now, another cool thing that you'll notice coming up a lot in Pro Tools is the Alt shortcut. So if I hold Alt or Option on Mac and I do something, so if I hold Alt and stretch this out, it'll do it to every single track. All right. If I hold Alt and Option and change the size here, it will do it to all tracks. So just remember that one, Alt. That can help to change everything when you're trying to use a function. So let's go back to, let's expand this out a bit. Okay, so some other things we can view and customize here. If we look at one of these tracks, the typical view for an audio track is the waveform view. Okay, this allows me to edit, move things around, and chop things up. Right. If I click on there, I've got a number of different things. We've got blocks. If I go blocks, I've never used this function here. It basically just gets rid of the waveform. I can't really see any point to that. We've got playlists. Right, let's say we're recording a take for our vocals. We might do, 3 or 4 takes. And what I can do is I can stack them down here into the playlists. So then when I come to comp it together, I can pick the best of each take. So that's playlists. Analysis and warp, we don't see them yet. They are to do with elastic audio, which is here. I'll talk about that in a second. What else do we have? We've got volume. If I show volume, this will show the volume of my audio track, right? And I can go in and change that if I want to. Let's draw in a bit of automation here, right? Okay, and that will actually change the volume over time. So if you probably see it in the mix window. There we go. Okay, so that's the volume automation. I'll just get rid of that. And we have mute automation and pan left and pan right. Now, you can actually automate anything in Pro Tools almost, but the only thing is you need to add it to this menu here. So if let's say I had like an EQ plugin on this channel, I could automate that and pick certain elements from there and they would show up in this menu. Okay, something else we've got here is the read. This is to do with automation as well. We've got off, read, touch, latch, and write. Here I can turn this channel off and on, so I can deactivate it. Let's say I'm using up too much CPU, I could turn off a few channels. So let's go back here. Then we have this little thing here, we have ticks and samples. Now this is an audio track, so typically this will be set to samples, whereas something like this is our instrument track, this will be set to ticks, okay, because it's following a metronome. I'm going to do a video specifically on these two settings. Okay, so finally on this channel we have this strange little menu here. It's kind of grayed out. This is the elastic audio. I'm going to do a series on this as well, but basically elastic audio allows us to analyze the waveform here, and if we go back to the view, see analysis and warp, we can now pick those. So if I go analysis, zoom in a bit, you see elastic audio has analyzed this, and it's put little analysis markers on the waveform where it thinks the beats are or the important parts. So a little bit more on that later. So that's elastic audio, that's how we turn it on. Okay, finally down here we have this little pop down menu. This is another way to view automation. If I click on that, you'll see I've got volume automation there as well. So that can be handy. If you want to keep editing and moving stuff around, you can do that while still viewing automation.